welcome to a brand new episode of the Jampack Report today for October the 17th of 2019. Of course, my name is Samuel Adams, and this is a daily gaming news podcast that keeps you up to date and informed on everything happening in the gaming industry. If you enjoy the show, you like what you see, subscribe on YouTube, find the show on a podcast service, or check out the written version on medium.com/jampackreport to stay up to date and informed. But today we will be talking about The Outer Worlds, a brand new sci-fi RPG coming to us next week from Obsidian that was reportedly only going to have Xbox One X enhancements, but it seems that is not the case, and it will be 4K on the PS4 Pro, but there is indeed a catch. However, Blizzard has followed up its banning streak with a 6-month ban to a college team that held up a free Hong Kong sign. Then Untitled Goose Game hits a big sales milestone in 2 weeks. The PlayStation Awards 2019 dates have been announced. The Xbox One X has a Taco Bell collaboration going on right now that could get you a very cool limited edition console. And finally, Fortnite's new map was leaked online weeks before it was released, and no one noticed. A cool story to end out today's show. But that is the roundup, and without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into it. First off, The Outer Worlds will indeed have PS4 Pro and Xbox One X enhancements. Private Division has offered an update regarding 4K implementation in The Outer Worlds. Contrary to previous reports, Private Division confirmed on Twitter that Outer Worlds will indeed have a 4K resolution on PS4 Pro, not just the X. While the Xbox One X version of The Outer Worlds will include native 4K resolution and textures, the PS4 Pro will upsample the game to 4K from 1440p. Of course, other games use this same technique on the PS4 Pro, including Red Dead Redemption 2 and Assassin's Creed Odyssey, to make sure the game still runs smoothly, since Sony's console is marginally less powerful than the Xbox One X. In fact, the Xbox One X considerably the most powerful console on the market as of October of 2019. Now, with that being said, good to see that The Outer Worlds will indeed be supporting the enhancements on both the Pro and the Xbox One X, because quite frankly, it didn't make sense whenever I read the news. This was something that was circulated a lot yesterday, early on in the day before the clarification was made, and it didn't really click with me, because if you can support 4K on the Xbox One X natively, I know you can upsample on the PS4 Pro. And so, now that we have the clarification, it looks like the game is going to be fantastic across the board. But I mentioned this because, quite frankly, I want more people to be talking about The Outer Worlds. It looks phenomenal. One of the biggest games of the year, coming to us from Obsidian, a very exciting sci-fi RPG with plenty of branching dialogue. It is the RPG that you know Obsidian for. And by all means, do check it out, because it's coming out on the PS4, the Xbox One, the PC, and on top of that, it will be included with Game Pass day and date. So if you do want to dive in and you have Game Pass, it literally costs you nothing aside from your subscription. However, maybe that's what the Hearthstone team at American University will be doing, because they've been banned from the game Hearthstone for 6 months. Of course, this comes in the wake of them holding up a free Hong Kong sign last week. American University Hearthstone players who recently held up a sign calling for Hong Kong's freedom during a live stream have been officially disciplined by Activision Blizzard. In a Twitter post today, team member Casey Chambers stated that the team has been banned from competitive play for 6 months. The situation started last week when pro player Blitzchung Ning Wai spoke in support of Hong Kong citizens, currently embroiled in months-long protests with the government. During a live stream of the Hearthstone Asia-Pacific Grandmasters, Blitzchung called for a liberated Hong Kong and a revolution of our age. As a result, he was initially banned from competitive play for 12 months and had his prize money revoked. The decision sparked immediate outcry against Blizzard, including demonstrations from workers on Blizzard's campus in Irvine, California. Blitzchung's suspension has since been reduced to 6 months, and his prize money returned. Later that week, American University's 3-player Hearthstone team demonstrated in their own way by holding up a sign that said "Free Hong Kong, boycott Blizzard" during a match. When a punishment from Blizzard too similar to Blitzchung's was not forthcoming, the team voluntarily dropped out of future tournaments. Now they have been officially banned for half a year. Chambers posted an image of the email from Blizzard on their Twitter today. It reads, "Every voice matters at Blizzard, and we strongly encourage everyone in our community to share their viewpoints in the many places available to express themselves. However, the official broadcast needs to be about the game and the competition, and to be a place where all are welcome." The email goes on to state that Chambers violated a rule regarding sportsmanship and that he is banned from competition for 6 months from the incident. Happy to announce the AU Hearthstone team received a 6-month ban from competition, Chambers tweeted. While delayed, I appreciate all players being treated equally and no one being above the rules. In the time since Blitzchung's ban, pressure has mounted against Blizzard from fans disappointed with a slow response on the incident. J. Allen Brack followed up. We talked about that on an episode of the show we talked last week, I believe. And on top of that, we have this follow-up story with a 6-month ban officially being given to the American University Hearthstone team. Overall, this is what is fair, and I think this is, quite frankly, what they wanted. Whenever you make a statement like this, whenever you stand with somebody making their own decision to, make their own political decision, this is what you expect, equal treatment. And so Blizzard effectively is setting a precedent for the cost, in my eyes, of making a political statement. Because, in a way, this is almost like receiving a parking ticket. If you are in a huge rush, let's say that your wife, girlfriend, whatever is in labor, and you are getting ready to be the parent of a child, and you just run up on a curb and you just park your car right in the middle of the sidewalk and you run into the hospital, that's totally fine. You're going to get towed and you're going to get a fine, but that's the payment that is required to park on the sidewalk in the middle of the hospital. And so that's pretty much the way that I see this. If you want to make a political statement, if you want to break the rules, a 6-month ban for political statements seems to be the emerging value of making some kind of statement on air. But with that being said, good to see there is at least fair treatment, even if it is the incorrect treatment from Blizzard. And to some degree, I understand where Blizzard is coming from on a corporate level. In the way, it's kind of like the NFL protest that we saw a couple of years ago, where the overall goal was to keep the focus on the game of football and away from the kneeling controversies that were in the news during the time. And since then, things have kind of calmed back down. But at the same time, this is a similar situation where Blizzard says, hey, let's just focus on the game. Let's not talk about politics. And to a degree, this is a source of escape for a lot of people that might be embroiled in international conflict during the time of the tournaments. And so I can identify with that, but at the same time, there is no right answer in this situation. But to effectively come out and look like you're kind of against the freedom movement in Hong Kong, not the best look on the corporate scale. However, moving on from that depressing news, Untitled Goose Game passed 100,000 in sales in first 2 weeks of its release. Devilishly wholesome puzzler Untitled Goose Game has sold over 100,000 copies in 2 weeks, according to developer House. The studio broke the news during an interview with ABC Australia earlier this month, but stopped short of revealing a more exact sales number. That success likely won't come as a surprise to anyone who's been keeping tabs on the game. It became a viral sensation when House debuted the first Goose Game trailer back in 2017, and upon launch quickly became one of the most talked about titles on the internet, carving through meme culture like a knife through butter and even securing a shout-out from none other than Blink-182. If you are curious to learn exactly what makes a sensation like Untitled Goose Game click, you can check out Gamasutra's coverage of the game itself. But good on House. Of course, this game, insane. Basically, you are a goose that annoys people. You go around this town terrorizing people. And as somebody who went to a college that had a rampant goose infestation, I can confirm, geese are pretty terrifying. If they are in the mood, they will chase you down. They will flog you. That is something that will happen. And so if you do want to dive in, the game came out on the Nintendo Switch. It came out on the PC as well if you do want to dive in. But really good to see that the game is doing very well. And truly, I think it blew the developers away. I believe I remember reading an article that said that the response to Untitled Goose Game was so unprecedented that they can now make whatever game they want for the foreseeable future or something along those lines. But good on them. Fantastic job from the team at House. I have heard no complaints about the game. It's a good time. Maybe it could even win a PlayStation Award, or it could if it was on PS4. But regardless, the PlayStation Awards 2019 are going to take place on December the 3rd. Sony Interactive Entertainment Japan Asia has announced the date for its annual PlayStation Awards, which are set to take place on December the 3rd in New Takanawa, Tokyo. I nailed that name, and I didn't even prepare for it. I'm really proud of that, even though it's nothing to be proud of. I'm pronouncing a name of a modern city. The PlayStation Awards offer gongs to titles specifically based on sales totals. Platinum prizes are awarded to games which have shifted over 1 million copies, physical and download. Gold prizes are awarded to games which have sold over 500,000 copies. And while the PlayStation Network Award will go to 3 highest selling titles on the PSN Store. There will also be awards given to the best-selling PSVR title of the past 12 months and the 3 indie games that are considered to have contributed to the expansion of PlayStation. Finally, the PlayStation 25th Anniversary User's Choice Award will be given to 5 previous PlayStation Award winners as selected by Japan and Asia users. The PlayStation Awards 2019 will take place on December the 3rd at 1 p.m. Pacific Time and will be streamed live on the PlayStation Japan YouTube channel. So needless to say, this one is geared more towards international viewers, specifically those in Japan and that region. But at the same time, I'm not sure this is that good of an award show. This is more so kind of like whenever I go through and I read off the biggest selling titles of the month whenever the NPD reports come in. There's no point in this. I mean, the best-selling game can be something that is abysmal. I mean, look at Anthem. It's one of the best-selling games of the year. No one's playing it at all. And there is no chance of it ever coming back from the brink and the abyss which it's been cast into. But it still sold incredibly well, and so I'm not sure exactly where they're coming from with this perspective, because sales mean nothing, in my opinion, when it comes to the quality of a game. Now, there is a trend that better games do tend to have bigger sales figures, yes, because people hear about the game, they begin to get behind the game, and they roll with the punches with it. But at the same time, I just don't know if this is an award show worth even paying attention to. I've never watched it before, quite frankly, because, again, it's just the best-selling titles of the year, given gongs, so, you know, it is what it is. But if you do want to dive in and give it a look, comes December the 3rd on the official PlayStation Japan YouTube channel. But maybe you don't like PlayStation, maybe you like the Xbox One. Guess what? You can eat some Taco Bell, and you could win an Xbox One X, an Elite 2 controller, and Game Pass. And yes, the console makes the bong sound from Taco Bell, which is the best part of the entire promotion. Now, I do want to clarify yet again, this is not a hashtag ad. I'm not being paid to promote this. I just like Taco Bell, and I love Xbox. Taco Bell is partnering with Microsoft for another promotion, this time giving you a chance at a shiny new Xbox One X along with an Elite Series 2 controller before it's widely available. And the Xbox makes that signature Taco Bell bong sound again. You know the one. Oh yeah, you know the one. From October 17th, today through November 23rd, ordering a double chalupa box will get you a code to enter for a chance at an Xbox One X Eclipse bundle. The bundle includes a limited edition Xbox One X Eclipse console with a white to black fade design and the Taco Bell ring at startup, plus an Xbox Elite Wireless Controller Series 2 and 6 months to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, which of course is the one that includes live, the Game Pass on console, and Game Pass on PC. The Series 2 controller is releasing on November the 4th, so if you win early enough in the promotion, you could just get a controller before anyone else can even buy it. The prize bundles will be awarded every 10 minutes on average, and the companies promise a quick turnaround time for winners, possibly as fast as 48 hours after redemption. Meanwhile, you can also score Game Pass Ultimate time just by ordering your food. Ordering a double chalupa box online or through the Taco Bell app will get you a code for a 2-week Xbox Game Pass Ultimate membership, and you can stack 2 codes on top of each other for roughly a month of Ultimate, and you can check out the full rules for more details. Of course, Xbox Game Pass Ultimate is the top tier of Microsoft's all-you-can-eat subscription service, coming to, of course, consoles and PC, and it combines that Xbox Live Gold and the Game Pass for PC into a single subscription, generally costing $15 a month, as opposed to $10 for Game Pass individually. So effectively, it's a pretty good deal. Now, I will say, Taco Bell, mystery meat, all day, every day. They just had a recall of millions of pounds of meat across the world for metal shavings that could potentially get in it. But you know, sacrifices have to be made. If you want the Xbox One X that makes the bong sound, you gotta do it. And also, I like the fact that somebody tweeted that it is the Xbox One X that makes the bong sound, and somebody said, light bubbling? And I was like, my man. But yeah, if you do want to dive into the Taco Bell promotion at the local locations, you can dive in, eat a double chalupa, and potentially dive into some games on Game Pass. But finally, you might be familiar with a game called Fortnite. Chapter 2 just launched. A black hole sucked the first game away. I consider this one kind of a new game. And finally, Fortnite's new map was leaked online weeks ago, but nobody believed it was real. Fortnite's new map is the star of its revamped, reinvigorated Chapter 2 update, which launched yesterday after nearly 48 hours of black hole-ridden downtime. But yesterday was not the first time fans have been able to peer at the new map. It had, in fact, been floating around various corners of the internet for several weeks. The problem was, no one believed it. Back in September, an image showing most of the map was posted to the r/Fortnite competitive Reddit. The post, which has since been deleted, claimed it was a leak from a friend who is an Epic employee. It included the same leaked place names as those found within Fortnite's own update files, apparently for a set of new areas to debut in Season 11. It also included a battle bus route and a location marker, as if snipped from an in-game screenshot illicitly taken on a top-secret test server. So was it real? The internet quickly decided no. Fan-made map concepts are posted on Reddit all of the time, and it was downloaded into oblivion. But everything changed on October the 4th when when well-known Fortnite leaker HypeX posted the map to Twitter. The end of Season X was now rapidly approaching, and more hints have been dropped that Fortnite would indeed blow up its old map for good. HypeX claimed an anonymous source on 4chan had maybe told him that the leak was real. Verifiable or not, HypeX's post quickly blew up, spread to his 500,000 Twitter followers and more than 1 million YouTube subscribers. But as soon as the post began to gain traction, someone on Twitter came forward to say that the map was fake after all, that they had made it in Photoshop. But when asked, they said that Epic had come to them, saying that they had gotten in touch to say it noticed a leak and that he was the one to qualm? I don't know what that means. He was putting out the fire for him. Now, the age has not been verified of this individual. We don't know if that's the legitimate case, but at the same time, who knows? Regardless, it's fun to know that more than a month before the map actually launched, we actually knew what the next season of Fortnite would look like. And as you can see, some changes have been made, marginal changes, but changes nonetheless. And it is striking when it comes to see that, yes, this is indeed the brand new Fortnite map. But if you do want to dive in, the update is live now. I actually did grab a couple of games of Fortnite, and I will say, the game itself in a pretty good spot right now. If you are looking for a point to dive in and check out the global phenomenon, this is it, Chief. So dive in for free on the PC, the PS4, the Xbox One, and mobile platforms if you did want to give it a shot. But that rounds out today's episode of the Jampack Report. Of course, as always, I hope you enjoyed today's show, and if you did, come back tomorrow for a brand new episode. And you can always check out the show on YouTube, podcast services, and on medium.com/JampackReport. So, I hope you do, and I will see you on the next one. Until then, peace.